za dozvolu, da.
Zdravo, moje ime je Daljan i dobrodošli moj novi podcast emisije. A ovo je moj novi prijatelj, Petar Ruževic. I kako si?
Dobro sam, odlično. Evo, samo da kažem, to je Petar Kristijan Ružević. Moje srednje ime je Kristijan, znaš.
Vidim.
Da, to je Piotrek Kristijan Ruževic. That's Polish. That's a Polish name and the last name. Ruževic, that means something that came out of a rose.
Ne znam to.
My grandfather was a Polish. And his ancestry were the Jews who were practicing Kabbalah, right? His grandfather was a rabbi. My grandfather's grandfather was a rabbi from Bydgoszcz in Poland.
So like your grandparents are from Poland.
Your grandparents are from Poland too, right?
No, moj porodica iz Armenia.
To znam.
Armenia. They are from Armenia and they speak, oni su govori ruski, jermenski i engleski.
Barem cez. Inč besek, inč kač, bunses.
Ne razumem.
Inč besek du. Je slavem, šnura kalučun.
Okay. Okay, so let's get down to the business. So let's talk about like your interest of languages and how you became interested in. So what was that like? Were you like my age or maybe a little older than me? Or what was it like?
I was younger than my daughter is now. So I was a little bit lower than 8 when I started to listen thoroughly and carefully to the languages and the TV and the radio shows. And we were traveling around. So I was listening to, to the people speaking around me. And what was this language? What was that language over there? So later on, I figured out that those languages were those that I speak right now with fluency. Those were Italian, and their persons or family spoke German, and the third one spoke Russian, and so on. So when I was a little bit older than my daughter is now, when I was around 13 or 14, I started to translate spontaneously. When I was watching a movie or something like that, I would translate it in my head. So, and whenever I went, or I've been taken to a cinema, to see the biopics, I would translate it to the certain extent that I knew in that moment. So that's how let's say how I got into learning Italian. I'm an operatic singer. I sing opera. I'm trained as I had a vocal coach. I had 2 of them. I just sang to you. You remember that I sang that song named Caruso, right? So there's been a lot of operatic and Italian pop songs in our house, and the entire operas, right? La lirica italiana, and therefore that's the way how I first got introduced to Italian language. So it's always been present in my home, because we were moving on, and so I for listening and singing later on, I've started to pursue the language to make my comprehension more. So later on, I studied the languages. I moved to the US, as well as you know, and I was continuing my learning process at the Institute for Foreign Languages. And partially we were living in Belgrade at that time also. So I was learning and Belgrade as well. So later on, when I came to Italy, I was able to join the conversation with the with Italians.
Kada si došao u atelier?
U Italiju?
Da, Italiju.
Pa ne znam, prvi put možda pre nego što sam se oženio. Možda ne znam se, recimo, imao sam možda 20 godina kao ti sada, recimo.
Vidim.
Možda recimo toliko. Ja govorim toskanski, italijanski.
Ti govoriš italijanski?
Narječje koje se koristi kao standardizovani oblik italijanskog jezika. Italijani ne razumeju uvek jedni druge.
Da.
Oni Italijani koji žive na severu ne razumeju često, mnogo puta, one koji žive na jugu. Tako da se koristi taj standardizovani il dialetto toscano si usa come una forma del linguaggio standardizzato e si chiama il dialetto toscano. I to je italijanski književni jezik.
So it's an interesting language to you, isn't it?
Tako da sam ja postao, da, može se reći native. Postao sam u međuvremenu, evo već preko 20 godina, neko ko ima nivo kao native speaker.
Materni jezik.
Da. A kad sam došao u State, onda upao sam na rusko odeljenje jezičko, a tamo su govorili ruski, знаешь. И они все говорили по-русски между собой. Вот так я потом я учил. I tako je došlo dotle da sam ja već preko 20 godina u ruskom jeziku.
Dakle, koji jezik govorite ostanem srpski? How many languages do you speak besides Serbian?
Ne moraš da mi persiraš, to sam ti rekao već prošli put, znaš, ne moraš da mi persiraš. Ja jesam stariji od tebe, ali ne moraš da mi persiraš, znaš, dobro, ja imam i decu i roditelj sam i sve, ali ne moraš, dogovorili smo se, možeš mi reći, ti jesi lepo vaspitan, to je tačno, ali možeš mi reći možeš mi reći koje jezike govoriš, ne moraš mi persirati, lakše je, znaš. Ja cijenim to što ti mene poštoješ, ali ne moraš mi persirati, to je bez veze, mi smo sada prijatelji, je li tako? Šta si me pitao, molim te, izvini.
Šta?
To je bilo pitanje, reci mi, molim te. Šta si me pitao? Koje jezike govorim sve?
Da. So you know Russian, ruski, italijanski, francuski, njemački, a šta još?
Dobro, English, to se podrazumeva. I speak English, I speak Italian, I speak French, I speak German, Russian and Spanish, and I learned Hungarian.
Mađarski jezik.
Yeah, Magyar, because it was my aunt. It was my father. My father's tetka moga oca. My father's aunt. She spoke Hungarian perfectly because she was born in former Austro-Hungarian territory. Wherever he spoke Hungarian. She was born on the border between Austria and Hungary today. So she spoke Hungarian perfectly, you know?
Okay, so
yeah, I don't speak it fully. I learn it. I'm a thorough student of Hungarian language, which is beautiful. They came from Central Asia, and not from the Central, sorry, but they came from Northern Asia, for Siberia today. You know, beyond the slopes of Urals. So they came behind that, those slopes. So I learned Georgian as well, because I spent some time in Georgia as well. So I speak Georgian even better than Hungarian now. You know, it's an astonishing language to learn. Kartuli and
So when did you become interested in not languages, history, or did you like studying history?
Well, it's a serious question. You know, there is a difference between a differentiation, therefore, between an official history and the esoteric history. And you know that the victors after the wars, after the warfare is over, we're writing and rewriting the history, you know, so and the historical books. But I was getting interested in the esoteric history, you know, the history that is not mentioned and learned in the historical books, the official ones that are not to be learned and studied at colleges, at the high schools, nor in the elementary schools. So I was getting interested into the esoteric, the real history, you know, because the other forms of it were simply covered up.
Yeah. For me, I've been kind of studying languages and history for a long time, because that's been like kind of like my field of interest. Basically, I've been studying that for a long time, ever since I was maybe 12 or 14. I can remember learning about it. So to this day still. So I was Živiao sam u Pennsylvania. That's where I started learning all like the languages and history. And that's where I discovered some Serbian kids in my school back in Collegeville, Pennsylvania, where I was living at the time before we moved to Florida. And that was in 2016. So that was pre 6 godina, almost soon to be. So yeah, I saw some kids who were speaking Serbian, and I thought that was very interesting because I thought it was very beautiful. And I asked what language it was because I didn't know what it was, and he told me it was Serbian, like I told you yesterday in the first one. So I can remember that day very well. So, and that's why I decided.
So you can revoke that period very vividly, right? You have the very.
I can remember that like clear as light, clear as day, as if it was yesterday.
You were born in Pennsylvania, right?
No, New Jersey. Ja sam iz New Jersey.
Oh, New Jersey.
Ja sam rođen na 29. oktobar 2002 godina.
Oh, you're a Scorpio. That's your sign. Yeah.
Imam 19 godina. I'm 19.
Oh yeah. That's a good age. I remember myself when I was 19 years old. That was a long time ago. Okay. So yeah, so the first very one amongst the foreign languages that you got in touch with was Serbian, right?
Yeah.
Oh, so I'm now gonna ask you, how did you feel about that? It was an awesome experience. Ciao. Yeah. So I really can imagine right now how that experience impacted you. How did you feel since I speak that language? I wasn't speaking it throughout my whole life. I was kind of getting into forgetting it, so I revived it. I was doing my own renaissance of my knowledge of Serbian language. So I speak it now, of course, but I haven't forgotten it meanwhile. But I can, since I speak it, I'm an interlocutor of it, as well as you get.
Yeah, because that's your first language.
I can remember, I can invite the exact feeling that you have had in the first moment when you heard it, because it was just like a folk story or like a fairy tale, like I was having when I heard Persian and when I learned Persian for the first time. Okay, so you got interested, you were mind blowed.
Yeah.
No, your mind bloated. You said, okay, sorry, you were blow-minded. I'm just I just didn't sleep enough. I'm missing the words. So,
and then from there, like not just Serbian, I'm interested, but I'm interested like in other Eastern European languages, which Luke stated yesterday. I said I'm interested in like Russian, Armenian, because those are the languages I want to learn because my family speaks them after I learn Serbian. I want to learn those too. So
yeah, but as well as you know, Armenian does not belong to the family, to the group,
Slavic family, yeah,
of the Eastern European languages.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
It's not even a European one.
Asian.
You know? Yeah, since Armenia geographically belongs, it makes a part of the Southwestern Asia.
Yeah, Zapadi.
The language itself does not belong to any known of the Indo-European families members. You know,
mm-hmm.
It's like a stem that emerges from a single stem that emerges from a trunk of the languages, or like a single flower which stays aside, which stays out in the field, on the meadow.
Mm-hmm.
And therefore it cannot be included to any known group of the family. You know, like Albania, for example, is 50% a Romance language. Linguists are certainly aware of it, but Armenian cannot be put anywhere, although it officially does belong to the Indo-European family. What do you want to say?
Oh, like albanski и rumanski su stolični jezik, since you said they are Romance languages.
Well, Albanian does have the loan words, you know, the borrowings from other languages, like from Latin and from Italian as well. Yeah. Bicicleta, you know, that's for the bicycle, for the bike. For example, they say bicicleta, you know, and or from the language of gypsies, the Roma people language. This from Since and Roma people, Roma peoples, and from Greek as well, and even from the Aromanian, from Serbian, from Turkish Ottoman language, or from even Persian and Arabic, and it's not that similar. It doesn't have so much things in common with a Romanian language spoken today, but it derives from mostly Romance languages. So that's why I said that it's 50% Romance language. But it's compounded. It's a kind of derivative of all of those languages that I just mentioned. You know, but originally they speak that language of theirs for centuries. Albanians originally derived from the Caucasus, from the northeastern Caucasian Reef. Have been there, and Dagestan, and in Dagestan, that has been conquered by Russia in the 19th century. It was over. There are still the villages populated by vast majority of the original Albanian inhabitants who still are able to speak it. They use it in their mutual daily conversation. I've heard it. And you know, Dagestan is a very eclectic and very specific area, because they, you know, almost each single village utilizes a different separate language or an idiom, you know. So they wouldn't be understanding each other. There won't be any comprehension between them if they were utilizing Russian. So they speak Russian instead of any other ones. So that's the point. So there ain't no much similarities between Albanian and Romanian. I've learned both of the languages. I've learned Albanian with Mormons in the U.S. With Mormons, you know, because they speak many languages. They consider it a gift from God or something, you know. But they have to speak the languages in order to do the missionary job, to be able to convey their ideas to spread it down to the people.
Okay,
that's why I speak the language.
Yeah, so anyway, we talked about a little memory of Bosnian War, the civil war in ex-Yugoslavia yesterday.
Oh, yeah.
So what was that like? Imate li sećanja na rat u Bosnu ili građanski rat u bivšoj Jugoslaviji?
Pa ja nemam lično, kako da kažem, sećanja, jer nisam prisustvovao, nisam tada bio tu kada se taj rat vodio, ali sam odlično upoznat s tim koga je organizovao, kome je taj rat bio potreban i koga je vodio, da je bio vođen. To je bio dogovor da se razbije Jugoslavija, zato što je lakše upravljati i vladati okupiranim teritorijama koje su manje nego ovim koje su veće. Ta Jugoslavija je smetala, bila je trn u oku ljudima koji su je razbili, bila je smetnja. A to su uradili Hazari, to je hazarski plan koji je dug, to je duga je priča jako. Tako da je uspešno urađeno to što je bilo bolje za te koji su to uradili, da se razbije i hoću da ti kažem zapravo šta je bilo 89. godine na Malti, na krstarici Gorki, i sjetit ću se imena druge krstarice, bili su Henry Kissinger, koji sad će napuniti 100 godina ove godine, onda George Bush senior, otac ovog Georgea Busha mlađeg, koji ima 80 IQ, ja imam duplo više, ja imam 160 IQ, on ima 80 IQ, nije bitno, i Mikhail Gorbachev. Čija majka je ukrala nešto kad je bila trudna, ne znam tačno šta je ukrala, pa se dodirnula ovde po glavi, pa je njemu ostala velika fleka na ćeli, na lobanji, zato što to je zaista, naučno se sad dokazuje da se to zaista dešava kad majka u trudnoći ukrade nešto i kad se dodine određenom delu tela ostane zaista na embrionalnom nivou ta like a black spot, in a form of a mladež, da. Moja majka očigledno nije ukrala ništa, pošto ja nemam mladež po delu. Nije bilo potrebe da krade ništa.
Slobodan Milošević je izgledajnik do srpski narod. Because he started the war.
Da, pa dobro, on je jedna teška žrtva, da ti kažem. On je bio Rothschildov bankar i bavio pravnik koji se bavio poslije bankarstvom. Ne zna se kako ušao u to. Mislim, zna se, ali evo ja se pravim da ne znam. I onda je ušao je, mislim, u brak sa Mirom Marković i to je ta veza sa UDBom, sa OZNom. I onda je bio onaj govor na Gazimestanu 89. I tada je krenula njegova politička karijera, njegov uspon i pad kasnije kako je bilo. Samo ti kažem šta je bilo na Malti. Krstarica Gorki, Kissinger, George Bush,
and Bill Clinton. That was during the Bill Clinton time.
Yeah, the senior and Mikhail Gorbachev. Oni su napravili Malteški memorandum. The Maltese Memorandum na 730 strana. Ja sam pročitao oko 300, pošto imam i preča posla. Imam i decu, moram biznis svoj da pravim, ali mi je jasno, shvatio sam o čemu se radi. I taj Malteški memorandum je odredio sudbinu ovog područja, the whole Balkans, i Evrope i uopšte planeta celog. Tu sam video u tom memorandumu nezavisna Slovenija, nezavisna Hrvatska, nezavisna Bosnija, nezavisno Kosovo, nezavisna Makedonija, nema Srbije. Tu nema Srbije.
So all republics except Serbia declared their independence, like Bosnia, Croatia.
Da, Srbija je bila predviđena za istrebljenje, za sklanjanje. Srbija nema bezuslovnu nezavisnost.
They didn't declare their independence from Yugoslavia.
Da, Srbija ima uslovnu nezavisnost. Zašto? Zbog Sandžaka, dela Turske na svojoj teritoriji. I to je tako ostalo od Berlinskog kongresa 1878. I tako je ostalo pravno politički do danas. Bilo kog pravnog istoričara da zovemo, istoričara prava, da ga pitam, on će to potvrditi. He will confirm the information. I zato kad je Erdogan bio sada u Sandžaku, u Novom Pazaru, to si možda video, ako pratiš, on je tamo praktično otvorio ambasadu tursku. To je deo turske teritorije. A to ima veze sa pan-osmanizmom. It's related to the pan-Osmanic, pan-Ottoman interests of Turkey and the Balkans in Europe. To se zvalo Rumelija. Balkansko poluostrvo, ta evropski deo Turske se zvao Rumelija.
A šta je se masakr u Srebrenici? Srba ubijen 800 bosnjanski čovek i deca.
To su Holanđani uradili. To u Srebrenici, to je nameštaljka. Has been made up and covered up later. Those atrocities had been committed by the Dutch soldiers. It's known. To se zna sada.
Ratko Mladić odgovor was responsible.
Da, on je optužen i sad izdržava tamo taj verdict, sentence u Hagu zbog toga. A bila su, da ti kažem za Radovana Karadžića, on je završio ovaj college, Tavistock.
On je psihijatra.
Kako?
On je psihijatra, Radovan Karadžić.
Da, on je završio taj Tavistock college za draftovanje ovih psihijatara koji će da budu obaveštajci. To su, znači, i engleski agenti od uticaja, tako se to zove, agent od uticaja. I onda je završio taj koleđ. Bila su 4 psihijatra takva. Nije bio on jedini, Radovan Karadžić. Bio je on, Radovan Karadžić je bio je Jovan Rašković, bio je Veselin Savić i Vladeta Jerotić. A ovaj
Arkan nije bio dobro čovjek, on je bio veoma loš.
Ko?
Arkan je veoma loš.
Arkan, pa dobro, da, Arkan je vršio egzekucije po Nemačkoj, znaš, za Staneta Dolanca. Ako si čuo za
executed bank robberies in Germany, West Germany that was.
Da, he was a bank robber in Western Germany as well, but he was a gentleman thief, kind of gentleman thief, because each time when he would rob a bank, he would leave a
flower. Yeah, I heard that story too.
Flower to the female employee over there. Tako da on bio nešto kao Robin Hood. On nije dao sirotinju, nego je dao za sebe. Ja sam bio u toj njegovoj kući, ogromnoj, gde je upoznao sam i njega i Cecu, kad ranije pre odlaska u state. To je ogromna bila, imala je pool, swimming pool, bazen imala. I eto, znam to pošto je moja ta tetka pokojna radila s Arkanom, znaš.
Da, njegov žena je pivac, Caca, his wife.
Sa kime?
Arkanovi žena je pivac. His wife is a singer.
Znam, da. Ima ona svoju tamo u Madame Tussauds museum, ima ona svoju voštanu figuru, znaš. Ja nisam iz tog sveta, ja sam iz drugog sveta. Ja sam iz sveta muzičkog opere i rock muzike, elektronske muzike i klasične muzike i tako dalje. Mene to ne zanima, ali ovako mislim to odlično znam. Pa znam ja Arkana, kako i moj otac ga je poznao, kako ne. Neki kažu da je on živ, da se krije na Kipru, međutim, ja ipak mislim da nije, znaš.
Oh, so like the Western story tells like a whole bunch of lies and stuff, but what's your side of the story? Like,
pa nije, to je bila osveta, on je ubijen tamo 2000-te. Moja porodica je jedna od prvih koja je to čula, pošto je ta tetka je radila sa njim. Radila je za takozvano kolo srpskih sestara, koja je u stvari osnovala Nadežda Petrović, slikarka. Znaš, jedna od osnivačica je bila i eto, sestra onog Rastka Petrovića, pisca, koji je umro u Washington, D.C. Znaš, tako da 49. Tako da zato sam ja bio jedan od prvih koji su čuli za to Arkanovo ubistvo. Pa dobro, on je kako da kažem, ubijen je, nije preživeo to, je ubio ga jedan klinac, jedan mladić. On završio kako je završio. Da, u hotelu, u foajeu hotela, ubio na Novom Beogradu, znaš. Ali dobro, to su ti kriminalni obračuni. Kako da kažem, on nije živ, da kažem, on je prisilno diskarniran, ali znaš ko je živ, recimo? That would surprise you, perhaps. Michael Jackson is alive. Michael Jackson is still alive. He didn't die. I'm having the information from the Russian
intelligence
resources that he's alive. He's still alive, and he's not even hiding that much. He's wearing a mask. He wears a mask, but who's the personality behind the mask, behind the veil?
Oh, so there's like some conspiracy theories that Arkan may be alive?
Sorry?
There's like some conspiracy theories that Arkan is alive or something, or?
Well, yeah, maybe, but Arkan is irrelevant in certain cases because his job has been done. It's been used by the former Yugoslav intelligence service for the, for the eradication, for the annihilation and elimination of the political opponents of those who were living in Western Germany and who were disobedient or simply weren't liked by the official government, by Dolan's and the other, by Tito and so on.
Oh, okay.
But he's irrelevant. I'm much more about Michael Jackson, because it's not the theory, but instead it's the practice of conspiracy. If you watch carefully and thoroughly the theatrical play that has been turned into the official, what should be the official burial ceremony of MJ's, the whole thing is covered up, is made up and stepped there in a form of a theater play. The actors were paid to do that, like Randy Jackson, the Reverend, and his brothers Tito and so on. They were making a mockery of the whole scenery and ceremony. And if you watch carefully, you can spot a blonde looking creature or a girl in the middle, the very core of the auditorium. And she was, I'm saying he because that was Michael. She wore that blonde hair, and the only person who didn't, everybody stood up, and the only person who didn't stand up in the moment of the farewell from the closed casket, right?
Yeah.
Coffin. From the closed coffin.
Yeah.
Was that blonde girl? That was MJ himself. Ruben, I'm gonna tell you a little secret. I want to unveil it and share it to you. Whenever a person is dead, whenever I see the obituary or a eulogy or whatever is all that about, I have to see the cadaver. I have to see the open casket, the open coffin, and to see the corpse, right?
Yeah.
The dead body. But in the case of MJ's, it wasn't nothing about that. They were making a mockery. He's alive. He didn't get any injection in his muscle. He didn't get killed by a physician, not caring about him. It was just an economic stuff, and he was getting old. He was 50. His knees, his joints were getting corrupted and broken. So he wanted to get the fuck out from the business. He wanted to get rid of the business and to invest the money in the smart things. So I've been seeing him. You know, it's him. Although he did some plastic surgery and he's wearing the mask, so he's the person behind the mask. It's the same case with Slobodan Milosevic, Ruben. He's been removed, but did you see the cadaver, the carcass, the corpse of SM, of Slobodan Milosevic? You didn't. I didn't see that neither, because there ain't no corpse. When a person is dead, you see the corpse.
In the same way, like Hitler's dead, like Hitler didn't, the body of Hitler was not found because he was burned after he died, after he committed suicide.
Oh yeah, well,
conspiracy theories. Yeah, there's some conspiracy theories that he didn't die at all, and that he fled to Brazil or something like that.
That is still alive, they claim, right?
Yeah.
Well, I don't know about that, because he was born in 1889 officially as a Schickelgruber. That's a Kaiser. That's a Kaiser in Austria. But you know, if you asked me about the Count Saint Germain, Le Comte Saint Germain, he probably is still alive, because the alchemists, the genuine alchemists, are able to rejuvenate themselves and to postpone and delay the momentum of discarnation, the death, to delay their own death, and to do that constantly. So they're capable to preserve their bodily system, consisted of cells, you know, infinitely, endlessly, because they use, like the Tibetan monks, some of them, they're real immortals. They use the vermilion. It's a mercury sulfate, you know, derivative, the vermilion, cinnabar, and they use it to preserve their bodily system. So some of them in the Kafiristan and Tibet, on the Himalayas, they're hidden from the publicity, from the crowd. There is no much about them that is really known, but they are the immortals, because some of them really do live 200 years way on, you know, 300, 400, 500, 800 years. You know, I'm not speaking about the discarnated, the diseased ones. I'm speaking about living in their bodies. And I'm not speaking about samadhi phenomena. I would like to spread it a little bit later with you and with Luke on the other podcasts.
Yeah.
But I just want to tell you that Hitler certainly didn't die in a bunker. It didn't fire a bullet into his forehead like we were taught in the schools, and that's why I said that I like to research a real, genuine, esoteric history. You know, because so many of the doubles of the lesser known and lesser important generals of the SS party were, you know, simply hidden. They went to Argentina. They went to Argentina, and Hitler did it too by a submarine. So he certainly died in Argentina, either on the Antarctica or somewhere. But to speak about them being alive, still to this date, I ain't sure about that. But about Count Saint Germain and Count Cagliostro, perhaps yes. I'm having some people who swore to me that they were seeing him in Mississippi, Louisiana, and New Orleans. No, because if he was a genuine alchemist, and I would like to discuss about alchemy with you more. He knows how to deal with the energies in his own body, you know, nutrition.
Yeah, I think we could talk about that in our next.
Oh, definitely. How much time do we have left before the prayers?
It doesn't say it though. Strange.
Yeah. Does this session is this session already over?
No, it's still going. It's recording still.
Yeah, I can see it, but is that approved? I mean, is that
it's approved?
The real situation. Yeah, so it's kind of connected. You know, languages are connected with everything because you use the language
for communicating with people who know the language.
Express any thought, any idea, even the entire teaching. So I was learning many kinds of languages, various different times, you know, like Georgian, Armenian, Persian or Farsi. I was studying the Quranic Arabic language, which is standardized for amongst all of the Arabic dialects. It's spoken in Egypt, you know. And I learned Swahili as well, or Kiswahili, right? Yeah, you know, and for those who are the Arabic speakers, it's really easy to get to know, you know, to get into knowing Swahili because it's 50% consisted of Arabic.
Yeah.
So yeah, I would like you to tell me more about your aspirations towards learning languages in the recent future. What would you like to apprehend, to take in, to
so the purpose of this podcast, so we're just going to talk about like learning languages experience for me, like talking about history and other historical events. So yeah, I think that'll be good for our podcast show.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, do you have any other tongues that we didn't mention at all that would you like to get into learning? Like, I mean, would it be Italian? I'm not instigating you. I'm just asking. Could it be Polish or something? Because I learned Polish for years. It's an amazing language.
Yeah, I think we could talk about that in the next Zoom meeting in our second episode.
We're kind of limited.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Should we do anything in order to expand our time span on
our meetings? Yeah, I'm gonna have to figure out how to do that though. I really don't know yet. So.
Yeah, maybe we're not technically equipped enough. Yeah. Maybe we, you know, maybe the Zoom app does not support any of the wider conversations, but maybe we can try out to get on a totally different app.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna have to ask Luke and see if we could find some other software or program to use.
Yeah, maybe we need even 2 hours sometimes.
Yeah, I think that'll be good.
To express everything that we want to.
Yeah,
what do you think? Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's a good idea. I like it.
Yeah, because Zoom does not seem very supportive in this case, particularly.
Oh, jedan pitanje, one more question. A zašto ti se sviđa Kafkas?
Oh, we have to touch the esoteric topics because it's inevitable, it's unavoidable. You know, we certainly, when we consider the love towards the language, for the languages and you know, stuff like that, we certainly come to the what's previously called the theory of reincarnation. And now it's not a theory, it's the scientific fact. It's about the truth that we're getting aware of on a daily basis more and more, at least I and people like me. So there was, okay, who invented the xerography, the printing machine? It was Chester F. Carlson. I'm gonna make the long story short. So he gave $1 million. That's not the same like $1 million of today. It was like 10 millions or maybe no more. He gave that amount of money to Dr. Ian Still. Are you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Yeah, I wanted to just do a little scratch upon the subject of reincarnation, because when you asked me where did the law for the Caucasus came from, I wanted to say that certainly in one of the previous incarnations of mine, I was inhabitant. I dwelled on the Caucasus as well as in a certain period in this incarnation, because it keeps on inviting me. It constantly keeps on telling me that I, partially am from there.
Maybe in your past life.
It's not only because I'm whitey, the Caucasian race.
White colored skin, yeah.
Caucasian, yeah, I'm a Caucasian, but you're a Caucasian as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not just because of that. I know that I lived in Georgia and in the northern Caucasus. When I came there first, I felt like I really knew that area. I felt like I belonged there.
Oh, okay.
You understand what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
It's like a deja vu experience.
Of course.
Really, it is. This is not a joke. It's just I felt like I have the premonitions or the assumptions, the sentiments from the previous existences, the incarnations. So that's where originally the law for the Caucasus and its languages came from.
Yeah.
But that's to be reserved for another session, right?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Hey, it was very good,
Yeah, it was very good. So this is very good for our first episode.
Kako si rekao?
I think that's very good for our first episode. To je sve.
Yeah, that's very good for our first episode. And when we're gonna manage to do the next one?
Maybe tomorrow or over the weekend.
Maybe tomorrow will be good.
Možda sutra ili weekend.
You know why tomorrow is better? Because my daughter just came out of the school, and her cousin, her her girlfriend cousin, came. That's my sister-in-law's daughter. So they are kind of sisters.
Cool.
That's her female little cousin. So they're here right now. Maybe you can hear the speech from the background. And my sister-in-law came too. So I'll probably have to schedule our next session for tomorrow, because I cannot explain to you. I'm so overwhelmed and encompassed by the fact that we're doing this. I mean, come on.
Yeah.
My wife has an interesting story regarding this. She said the bee has been collecting honey for a very long time. Now is the time to make the business, the profit of it. And her hive, I am that bee. Ja sam ta pčela. Ali si ti.
Anyway.
A sad je vreme došlo da pravimo biznis od znanja. Je tako? Tako? I'm selling the knowledge.
Selling knowledge, I see.
I'm selling the knowledge, and people are gonna watch it, and they're gonna click on the link below, and they're gonna like us. And after the first 100,000 overviews,
sviđa mi se ili ne sviđa?
Pa da, ili mu se sviđa, ili mi se ne sviđa. Ako mu se sviđa, stavit će like, ako ne, onda dislike. Ali nije bitno, dobit ćemo mnogo više thumbs up nego thumbs down.
Da.
You have to correct me if I'm wrong, but I think that after the first 100,000 overview, after we've accomplished the first 100,000 overviews, we start to gain the money, right?
Yeah, that's kind of our goal. We want to make like good episodes on our podcast, like maybe grow money. Yeah, no buts.
Now maybe, but certainly we're gonna make the money for sure. But I still ain't sure about the real situation. I mean, how many overviews you have to have in order to gain the first money? 100,000, right, or so?
Yeah, I think so. I'm gonna have to research that more.
Yeah, it will be extremely useful for us both because that's our goal.
Yeah.
To make the money out of it. Da pravimo novac od toga, zaradu.
Anyway, it was good talking to you. So
it was very good, my friend.
Yeah. So we'll see you soon. Vidimo se
sutra
ili uskoro.
Može sutra kad god želiš. Ti mi samo pošalji mi tamo informaciju, ja ću prihvatiti, može kad god želiš. Važi, Ruben.
Doviđenja.
Srećan sam. Ok, vidimo se sutra, prijatelju. Ćao. I izbaci nas na YouTube, važi, ćao.
Ćao, YouTube kanal.
Vidimo se.